I arrived in Haiti at the beginning of the rainy season. My wife came with me, and in fact it was her idea to go there with a group of 20 Americans, most of them we don't know, headed up by a surgeon from Chicago. His wife works with him as, a general helper, and he says she's his best friend. Trips like this happen all around the world every day. They are called mission trips. Some of them are organized by churches and other faith-based groups, and some are organized by colleges and civic groups, such as the Lions Club. Haití, Part 3. I need to give you fair warning. This lesson is for people who are considering working in the healthcare industry or going on a medical dental mission trip. You're going to get a little career exploration as I take you right to the people doing the dirty work that helps their patients. So prepare to cringe, or skip this lesson and the next one, or watch with your eyes closed, which would actually be listening, not watching. Everywhere I went in Haiti, in the villages far away from the city, I saw goats, pigs, and chickens, and quite a few burros, lots of cattle too. The animals often had a short rope on them to keep them from wandering. I myself go on these trips to collect information for Max and Max lessons and for other business reasons, and of course I go to help with the mission. I'm always the only American who speaks another language, besides the people who have been working there for a long time. So you can be sure that knowing Spanish will make you extremely useful on mission trips where Spanish is spoken. The surgeon in this lesson took a trip to Haiti several years ago and was shook by what he saw. He and his wife decided to move there with their 4 kids. It was a big switch for them.
A young man came to the hotel, and when we returned, I heard he had a necrotic finger that needed amputation.
Necrotic means?
Necrotic means dead, no blood flow. And so it was actually, when I examined it, it was gangrenous, and it needed immediate dealings with. He had been to 2 local doctors, one who had turned him away because there was no surgeon available, another where surgery was available but said they weren't going to touch it. And so the potential for this kid to die was high because of the gangrenous germs would have gotten to his bloodstream. He would have got septic and died. So I knew it was a sense of urgency. He was in a lot of pain. And despite the fact that orthopedics is not my area, when you're doing mission work and you have a skill, you have to perform it to save lives. And so, fortunately, I was blessed to have a dentist with me who is interested in surgery, and I had a microbiologist with me. And so both of them and myself, along with my wife and my daughter, sat this man down and basically operated on him in the hotel, upstairs in the hotel hall. So we put him down, we numbed his finger, and we said a prayer that God would provide the skill needed and the peace for this young man to undergo this procedure. And he did really well. And fortunately, we were able to get the dead part of the finger off. We were able to form flaps and cover the bone very well. And it turned out to be an excellent procedure. He walked away very happy, and I'll see him tonight, and hopefully everything looks great. And
Does he have family?
He does have family. He had a mother, but he didn't have a father. He was 29 years old, and he was just desperate. And ironically, that same day, we saw one of our neighbors in our town who was crying, an older woman, and we asked her why, and she said her oldest son had just died. And upon inquiring about it, it was a 30-year-old young, strong man. He had went to the hospital with what she was explaining was consistent with acute appendicitis, and 3 hours later he was dead due to no ability to operate on it. So,
could you have helped him though?
Absolutely, absolutely. We could have. The appendix is routine 101 general surgery, and just the fact that they can't do it here, it just breaks my heart to see people dying when they don't need to be dying of surgery, starvation, the needs that are basic and assumed by us. Are the things that we consider needs, other places consider luxuries.
What do you want to accomplish today at what we're looking at here?
So right now we've invited a school up that we're working with. It's about 130 children. To get to this school, me and my daughter did a site visit, and we had to take a local tap-tap truck about 30 minutes. We had to take motorcycles another 30 minutes. Then we had to get on horses with wooden saddles for about 3 hours and 50 minutes up the mountains. We got to this community sore and hurting, but when we got there, I saw why God assigned it to us. It was just a desperate situation. They've never had medical help, and their education, what they were learning in, was basically torn tarp walls and ceilings. If it rained, they were soaked. They needed help. And to support this whole school of 130 kids is only $300 a month for us. So we're supporting them. And so I invited them down. We have a dentist here, and so we're going to do dental checkups and extract teeth that need to be extracted. And we're going to take blood pressures and just identify some medical needs in this community and hopefully tend to a lot of them today.
Hey, Doc, just think about all the money you could have been making back home.
If I would have stayed there, yeah, I would have been making money. But if I were to die in the United States, my patients would just go to the next doctor. Here, 2/10 of a doctor is available for every 50,000 people. So here, there's a need. So when I help people here, I don't get paid. But when they knock on my door the next day and present me with a basket of passion fruit from their garden, there's no payment like that. And so it's a blessing. It's a blessing.
This guy is well behaved and wants you to see his hat clean and just right. These kids are very poor. The girl in pink might not think of herself that way, but I'm telling you, she owns almost nothing. She and her classmates walked 3 hours from the school the surgeon described, without complaining, to this place where people have a little more than she has. No matter how poor the people are that I saw, one thing stood out to me. They like to look good. Most of them have one good set of clothes that they keep clean and in pretty good shape. How sterile can you keep things on a field like this?
You can keep them fairly sterile. And this is glutaraldehyde. Glutaraldehyde is a sterilant. Tinamycin and glutaraldehyde, if you clean the tissue and blood off the instruments first, it allows it to penetrate the surfaces, and so it becomes, it's sterile at the end of it.
So it's possible to do people a lot of good here at this clinic without causing infection?
Oh yeah, I think so. It's not optimal, but you do what you can where you are.
The surgeon and the dentist are pulling teeth that will otherwise lead to serious, painful infections.
But if these are infected sometimes,
You won't see many heavy people in Haiti. And almost all the dogs are skinny and hungry. There's no equipment to fix the cavities, so they have to remove the teeth. And the people appreciate it. They really appreciate it, but they have to suffer through some pain while the audience watches the teeth being wiggled out and the needle going in there to, as much as possible, deaden the pain.
here's the tooth, and this is the whole root exposed. So this is one of the last remaining teeth in this gentleman's mouth. So we are going to help him, and it's very sensitive.
The rapid blinking of the flashlight isn't seen by the human eye, but the camera does pick it up. What is it about this dental work here that you run into it must be terribly different from what you see back home?
We don't see anything like this at home. The dental health here isn't anything like what we see. We never would have a full mouth extraction. We would never see a 6-year-old who's just gotten their first set of permanent molars and they're completely bombed out. This dentistry we never do at home.
And does it take a lot to prevent this?
You know, it really doesn't take a lot to prevent this. I think a little bit of prevention would be education. It would be simple toothbrushing education, bringing in and just providing toothbrushes and toothpaste. And then simple cleanings every so often is all the prevention that you need, and dietary prevention. Less sugar, healthier diet, and in a situation like this, I think that's probably one of the most difficult things.
Why did you come here? I mean, this isn't even your first time. Why do you come here?
Haiti calls to my heart. The need here is beyond anywhere else I've ever experienced, and I've been to Mexico, and I've been to Uganda, and I've been to the Dominican. But the people touch me here. Their gratitude for what you do, they don't take anything for granted. They're completely thankful for what you have to offer and what you bring to them, what big or small, whether it be a piece of candy or you're able to help them take out a tooth that's been, painful for multiple months, even years sometimes.